Hi everyone and welcome to Hostile Territory. Should you help someone if he or she is in some sort of trouble? Well, the morally correct and logical answer to this is yes, of course you should. But at least from what I've seen, things go differently in life. So in this video, I'll be sharing some personal experience about helping people and how it backfired on me seriously. And as always, I hope you'll get some useful information from this video that may help you if you find yourself in a situation like this, or if you haven't ever been in a situation like this. So stay tuned. Hostile Territory. Before we start, I would just like to recommend my previous video about people pleasing and the harm and damage it can do to you and the menace it presents to your own self if you're a people pleaser. I'll leave a link in the card in the corner and in the video description so you can take a look. I recommend it because people pleasing and helping people are not the same thing at all, but they are closely related. First, I'm going to tell you my personal experience regarding helping other people and how it actually backfired on me in a very bad way. Of course, there are many examples like this in life, but the best example regarding my situation was from, of course, my previous toxic workplace. And I mentioned lots of these situations in my other videos. If you want to see what my fate was in that toxic workplace from the beginning to the end, and to see where all of my sad credentials for talking on these topics come from, I recommend to watch the video. It is lengthy, but I think it's worth it. Anyway, I'll try to put it in a nutshell. When I worked in that company, I worked very hard, and I worked very hard to learn most of the work. Okay, when I started working, I was pretty inexperienced, so I had to work double time to sort of catch all of the knowledge and put everything into place. Alongside that, when I started working, the company quadrupled the amount of business in that branch office, and there was a big pressure on me to help the company to put everything into place. The big business was just starting, and I was sort of non-officially chosen to be the main guy to help and put everything into place in that branch office. Why was this so? Well, my co-workers, which were working in that branch office for the previous year and a half, were practically useless for that job. They were bad with computers, they were bad with programs, they didn't want to learn anything, they were stubborn, they had this notion that they were right all the time, and this wasn't the attitude for getting that business running. All in all, regarding this story, what happened in the long run after a couple of months or even a year, I think, is that I acquired some serious knowledge regarding everything, and I had the complete knowledge to do all of the main business within the company, opposed to 3 other coworkers who essentially did not know anything. And because of this, the head manager from the head office, called me one day and told me that I should teach the other coworkers how to do all of this work. And I said, okay, although I was very suspicious, when he told me that. I was suspicious and worried. For what reason? If you watched my previous videos, I've mentioned this. In this time, while all the foundation was laid for all of this work, while I was working 12, 15, 16, 17, 18 hours a day, on the side, I saw what these people were in fact doing. They were sitting wisely on the sideline, waiting for the storm to pass regarding work. And once the storm would pass, they would just, like vultures, fly over the carcass and start using what I did to their own advantage. But, the situation was such at that time that I didn't have the opportunity to deal with that properly, but because I needed the job and I needed the money and everything else, I had to tolerate that, and I thought that I'll solve it later, which was a big mistake. But again, that's not the point of the story. The point was I had the knowledge and the skill set, and the head manager told me to teach those other people because, of course, the company wanted to be safe in terms that they wanted all of the workers to know the same things. And again, this is where the helping part comes in. I spent literally months teaching these people. They were very hard to teach. They did not want to learn. Their behavior was bad. And all in all, I found myself in this situation where I'm teaching my enemy essentially what they're supposed to do, and logically, this would only cause me problems in the long run, which happened. But nonetheless, I did it, and I would be lying to you if I said I did it only because I had to, because the head manager told me so. In a brief period of time, I had this hope that these people were not that bad, and if I helped them, and if I showed them all of this knowledge, and with that knowledge they would keep their jobs, in fact, that the situation would change. Just start from yourself. If someone helps you big time, of course you'll try and treat that person in a good way. You'll remember what that person did for you. But this was not the case. What happened to me is that I invested all of this time, and because of those two reasons, my head manager told me, and I thought there was going to be a change in their behavior and that we were going to be a team. What happened is that they acquired all of that knowledge, and once they did, they started plotting against me. I think it wasn't a month after the teaching was over that they already had everything set in motion. Their plan was essentially to acquire the knowledge, use it to their advantage, and to kick me out of the company. They had already their friend in line for employment in my place, so it was a pretty cunning plan. So I helped these people, I helped them save their jobs, I helped them learn something new, which was critical to the future business and to future working, and I helped them keep their livelihood. Such was the situation. I don't want to brag about it in any way, and all I got in return was them wanting to kick me out of the company. So, dear viewers, that's the whole story. I tried to help those people, and it seriously backfired on me. The consequence of my helping those people was that from that moment onwards, when they acquired that knowledge and when they took from me all that they wanted, it was an uphill battle with four people to save my job, save my paycheck, save the possibility of feeding my family. Believe me, for the next 8 years, 8 or 9 years, they threw everything they had at me to get out of the company. So once again, this is a good example what happens to you if you're good, if you're empathetic, when you help people, and how it can all end. So, dear viewers, for the end of this video, what's my conclusion on helping other people? Not only because of the story I told you, but because of 100 different situations besides work that I had in life, helping relatives, parents, friends. I came to a couple of conclusions. First of all, don't offer your help left and right, Don't be the eager beaver, and whatever situation you see, run and, do you need my help? Do you want some help? Or something like that. And again, this is closely related to people pleasing. Don't do that. Always, when offering some kind of help, try to stop, sort of freeze the time, stop, think about it for a second, and then offer your help. Closely related to this is always know what kind of the situation the person you want to help is in. There are certain situations where that person does not need your help under any kind of circumstance. Perhaps the situation or the trouble he or she is in helps them in some way. They can benefit from that in some way. And you helping will only ruin that opportunity, if you know what I mean. Perhaps they're in some sort of trouble where, I don't know, they can get some money from it or something like that, if you know what I mean. The other thing I would like to mention is that you may be annoying to other people by offering your help. And this especially goes if you're in a better situation than the other person is. For instance, if you want to help a neighbor that is in a less fortunate material situation than you, and you're eager to help and improve and everything else, you'll probably just get a counter effect, which is that that person will start hating you and you'll just cause yourself a future problem. But the last thing I want to share with you, and again, this is from my personal experience, when helping someone, you are seriously intruding into their lives. Okay, when helping with serious things. By serious things, I mean helping with, for instance, marital problems. Be very careful with that. helping with some sort of psychological problem, helping with some sort of big inner problem those people might have. This is the more serious stuff. And again, from my personal experience, if you have the chance, avoid this. Some people will even beg you for help, ask you for help. Some people will ask you for your opinion and everything else. Stay away from those things. What will that person ask of you? Probably they will ask for some sort of approval that they are okay. You will try to help them or to please them and to tell them they are okay. Later, those people may turn against you and talk badly about you and so on. So it's best to get out of that business altogether. My point is, if someone asks you for that kind of serious help, if they have a problem with their spouse, if they have problem at work, if they have problem with their family, friends, if they have problems, avoid that. Even if it's someone dear to you, because it may backfire on you in the long run. If you do want to help in that matter, if you are empathetic, be very, very careful. It's a big minefield that can easily blow in your face. When helping people with serious things, always have in mind that you may be, and this may sound a bit mystical, you may be affecting their fate to some extent. I don't know about you, I'm a believer in fate and that there is a higher power commanding things, and when you do certain things, perhaps you change the sequence of events, you change the right outcome of some things, and this is perhaps the biggest thing why you should think very, very much about should you help or not. And with this, I'm gonna finish. This sounded like something from a enchanted forest wizard, something like that, but this is, again, this is something that I wanted to share with you sincerely. So, dear viewers, that's it for this time. I hope I didn't take too much of your time. If you find the time, watch our other videos. It's a big help for the channel. Please like and subscribe. It's also a big push for the channel. What can I say? Take care of yourself. If you work in a toxic and hostile workplace, take care of your health. Your well-being should be number one. Hopefully, the other videos you'll see on this channel will help get through the bad period of working in a toxic workplace, and you'll be able to get out of that bad environment as soon as possible and unscathed as possible. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for your time, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video.